I'm Matt Boardman, and I'm a pitch coach for startups. In this video, we're going to talk about why every pitch should be like a good film. A film starts by presenting the audience with what we could call a bad world, from which the heroes of the story move towards a good world, usually by defeating the bad guys and saving lots of people from various nasty fates. Take the first Star Wars film as an example. When the Jedi's triumph at the end of the film and the good world is reached, the audience feels relief and excitement more intensely because they have first been introduced to the bad world, in which Darth Vader's empire is destroying innocent lives. Without first being introduced to this bad world, the good world would not seem half as satisfying or necessary. The exact same works with a startup pitch. You must show your audience how to move from the bad world, which is the problem you're solving, towards a good world with the solution you're offering. Now, many startups have asked me if it is not better to skip over the problem and focus entirely on their solution, which is a more positive message. The problem with doing that is that clients tend to part with their money only when they feel a sense of urgency, which generally comes from being aware that the current situation must change. To give an example, the bad world could be that poor dietary habits cause disease in many people. The good world is created by the startup's solution, an interactive educational application in schools, for example, to educate students about how to change their dietary habits. In many cases, however, I find that startups need to add an extra logical step into this process. Between the broad problem and your solution, I think we need to introduce what I would call a specific problem. Now, many people set the context of their pitch with a broad problem. For example, in this case, poor dietary habits cause disease. But then they make the mistake of moving directly to their solution. In our example, the educational dietary app. The issue is that there are many other potential solutions to the broad problem. For example, we could regulate supermarkets to make them sell healthier foods, or even we could invent smart fridges that warn their owners when they have bought too much unhealthy food. Therefore, in my view, we need to move quickly from this broad problem to the specific problem that most directly links to your solution. In this case, poor lifetime dietary habits have been proven to be learned at a young age. Here, the audience is already thinking that, okay, if dietary habits are learnt at school age, the best way to deal with the solution might be to educate them differently then, at school, and not to try and fix the problem later. This will make them more receptive to the educational app solution when you now mention it. Doing this, we have guided the audience by the hand in more logical small steps towards your specific solution. Now let's look at how best to choose your specific problem. In my experience, it's much more effective to first decide on the aspect of your solution which makes you different from your competitors. Let's do this now. Take a second and write down your closest competitors and really be honest with yourself. It is always better, in my view, to go straight for your most threatening competitors, even though there is always a temptation to play them down in the pitch. Then, decide the main reason why your solution is better than theirs. You can then reverse engineer that reason into your specific problem. If your competitor was producing a similar educational app for teenagers, but their app was less interactive than yours and involved, for example, reading lots of text, you may want to make part of your specific problem the fact that it is very difficult to educate teenagers, as they have very short attention spans. Okay, it's a subtle change to your argument, but in my view it can make all the difference when you're trying to persuade someone. A final point from my experience is that it's also crucial to choose the right bad world based on who your audience is. And to pick a medical example, if you are pitching a solution for hospitals which provides more care to people in their own homes, and your current audience is a group of hospital managers, do not choose a problem which highlights the advantages of caring for people at home rather than in hospitals. A, because you could offend them, and B, because your solution is certainly not trying to get rid of hospitals. Instead, do choose a problem about how overburdened most hospitals are by the need to bring in patients to the hospital who could be treated more easily at home. For me, the most important thing to remember is that to really interest your audience, you need to convince them that they are currently in a bad world, which needs to change into a good world, obviously with the help of your solution. But make sure that the bad world that you highlight is the problem most directly related to your solution, and that it is appropriate and recognizable for the audience you're currently speaking to. Thank you.